Hey SEOs and content marketers, say goodbye to crazy spreadsheet mashups and experience unprecedented connectivity between your SEO planning and reporting data. Introducing Audience Key, technology for keyword mapping, content brief automation, and rank tracking that form an SEO strategy system providing unparalleled feedback loops between planning, reporting, and optimization activities. Put your time and energy into strategy, not data upkeep. Visit audiencekey.com and apply for a free trial today. Hey everyone, welcome to Webcology. It's the 27th of February, 2025. This is Jim Hedger from Digital Always Media and Christine Schackinger from Sites Without Walls. And it's another one of those weeks. But you know what? It's been going to be another one of those weeks for the next 4 years. So it's been hard watching the American government devolve from a human-run operation to one that's basically running on AI and a couple of people hanging out in the side rooms. Christine, you've been watching far more closely than I. I guess this beginning of the show this week is talking about AI, DOGE, and American government workers.
Yeah, where do you start, right?
It's hard. It's hard to figure out how to phrase all this. And where do
Yeah,
you
and
start when you wanna?
let's start with the little story here the other day when all these employees in the federal government got an email that said that they had to respond to the email or they would be fired. Although the person sending it, Mr. Musk, didn't have any authority to do that. So half the departments told people not to respond, and other departments told them to respond. And it was a big old mess because
This is
it's
the
not a
5
legal
points
thing.
of what I did last week
Yes,
email,
what I
right?
did last night, which did result in a creative response from the American public, which was the email was leaked to that HR group in the government. And so people sent all sorts of fun. They're all posted all over Twitter and Blue Sky and Instagram. Fun responses to the 5 things they did last week. But it's a serious thing because people are losing their jobs, not for any merit, just because Musk went in and fired out of the people he fired so far, the nuclear safety team, the
He got
Ebola
rid of the
team,
Ebola safety team,
when there's an Ebola outbreak in
making the world
Africa right
safe
now.
for Ebola again.
I like that. And then I forgot the other one was just as dangerous. They could get back the Ebola people, but they still haven't gotten back the nuclear people or the other group. There's so much has been happening. I'm sorry, I forgot what the third group was. But these people were told to go home. Some people some people don't know how to pay their mortgage. A lot of people don't know how to
Well,
pay their mortgage next month. And people think it's all in DC, but it's not. This is spread across the entire country. So many areas are going to be affected. But
the outcome's
go
going to
ahead.
be horrible. But
Yes.
what bothers me from a technologist point of view is this email thing and the way he's gone
Yes.
about it, and what I think he's really trying to do with it really pisses me off. See the way it was phrased? It was like, give me 5 things that you do that's really important, the most important things that will save your job. And then he's going to run it
Yeah.
through AI, right? You know what he's
Wait.
doing? He's training
Yeah.
the AI on what's important.
Yes.
That's what it's
And
all about.
also, because we commonly use the word AI now or not AI, this is a large language model. You know that, Jim, but people listening might not. So when he says, like, I just was doing a pulse check to make sure people were alive because somehow they think that all these checks that they dole out and someone cashes in their bank account somehow are all dead or not real. I don't know how that would happen. But anyway, so it was a pulse check. They were just supposed to, that's how they covered it. Pulse check. It wasn't a pulse check. Uh, but um, but he, but they're saying now people need to send another one if they didn't yet, and they're going to use the quote AI large language model to analyze whether they should have their jobs. The thing is, you and I both know large language models do not analyze anything.
So
So all
what could he possibly be doing with
yes,
this information? Why would he need it phrased this way?
Exactly. And, all the other information is taken from the IRS and from the Treasury and all that stuff. Someone is getting a big pile of data, and I don't think it's him, but we don't have any proof of that, so I'm not going to go any further.
Well, not just
But
that. He very much wants to retool the American government to run on his systems as much as possible.
yeah,
And I think Grok, or what Uncle Grok we'll call it instead of Uncle Sam, Uncle Grok, will be the American civil service tool that now knows how to prioritize important functions that American, well,
country.
functionaries. They were actually people with children and mortgages and student loan debts and all that sort of stuff. People who, like, supported jobs in all of your communities, restaurant jobs and car dealership jobs, and people working at the dollar store and maybe even the local supermarket if people could still afford eggs down there. So these were real people, but
I still are.
well, still are,
They
but they
still
were
firing people.
functionaries from the way Musk was treating them, and
Well,
their jobs will become functions of Uncle Grok,
I think it's
TM.
bigger than that, though. The amount of data he took isn't just related to human resources, but that's another thing we'll talk about another time.
Well,
But
indeed, no, he's gathering data for a myriad of reasons, but in this
mhm.
specific case, with this specific email, that's all about making the specific respondents, regardless of how well they're judged, unemployed.
So if you're told that your job is not important because the AI told you so, remember the AI can't analyze anything. It's a large language model. It's a big old Mad Libs. It sees a blank, it fills in a word. It sees a blank, it fills in a word. That's how it creates sentences. It is
And
not
if you
analyzing anything. It's just sucking it
and
up
if you
to
do feel
summarize it.
important, if you do feel important because you survived this round of purge, as Christine said, you weren't judged by the LLM model. You just survived a purge, and they're coming for you next.
Yeah.
Don't feel so important.
But
Do you remember when we were kids and they used to have on TV the most important person in the whole wide world is you, and you hardly even know you? I remember that when I was a kid. That
yes,
was
I
that
do
was
remember
on
that.
Saturday morning cartoons, and whole generation, two generations grew up on that. And this is how it turns out.
So the interesting thing too, though, is because it's a large language model and it can't analyze. Doge put up a list of receipts of all the things that it supposedly saved the American public money on.
And as it
First of
turns
all,
out,
everything. First of all, they saved no money at all because everything that they said they saved money on was future spending that hasn't happened yet. But yeah, when you use a large language model to analyze things, it can't analyze them, so it just puts out text. And so it did like it said the same savings three times at 8 billion, but it was 8 million. They yeah, like they did separate cuts of 655 million. It must much reviled U.S. Agency of International Aid, which adds up to 2 billion, but it actually wasn't and may not even been anything at all. Might be 18 million. So if you are hearing these savings, they are not happening. And also, if you eliminate the entire U.S. everyone who works for the federal government, entire group, right? Everyone in the United States, you save up between 4 and 6% of the entire US budget. And many of these things are revenue generating. So, like they did it to the park employees. So, in my state, my city, the person that tests our reservoir, which we get our drinking water from, now it's not going to affect our drinking water yet, but it will affect if you swim in it or if you take your animals there. The person that checks the quality of the water is now not there anymore. So we don't have anybody to test the quality of the water. And
which hence
national,
swimming, hence new regulations around the basin. Yeah.
no regulations. Yeah.
Oh, there will be now.
No,
If there's no one to
nobody
test it,
enforces.
nobody gets to go swimming in it.
No, that's not how it's working.
Oh, so you're gonna let people go swimming and go pee and poo and all that sort of stuff in
Mm.
your drinking water and not test for it?
Well, they probably already do anyways. It gets treated, so the drinking water is fine. Like the
Well, yeah.
swimming in, it's another story. Other thing is they've removed
Okay.
people like USDA inspectors, so people can inspect the beef or the chickens, and they have bird flu. Um,
Oh, there is a massive boycott of American goods going on in Canada right now. Just if it's an American good, you don't buy it if you can avoid it. And one of the reasons beyond the threat to take over our country and impose, you know, completely crippling tariffs for no good reason, is that one of the big reasons is because we can't trust the quality of that food anymore. You don't have inspectors looking
Well,
out
no,
for
it's not. It's
stuff.
not
Well, no,
untrue.
I wouldn't eat that. It's terrifying. It's like flying out of an American airport. It's scary.
Yeah, it's not. It's not untrue. Also, I just want to put something out there to our listeners, just so they know. Beef is now getting heavily infected by bird flu, and if you feed it raw chicken or beef or unpasteurized milk to your pets, it can kill them. So if you cook it to well done, if you pasteurize the milk, you cook the chicken, it does kill the virus, but just make sure you don't give your animals raw beef, chicken, or milk right now because the virus is spreading because we don't have anybody that's looking into it or controlling it. And it could actually make your pet very, very sick or kill your pet, which I think people should know. So anyway, yeah, we
Um,
could go real deep into this story because it's basically they're just using a chainsaw. He was so funny the other day at the CPAC to slash everything in the federal government without knowing whether it's important or not, knowing the ramifications. And they slashed all the probationary employees, which are just people that haven't been there a year yet. They're not really probationary. It's just everyone has to have a year before they get their full-time creds. So, and they're doing it with a large language model, and they've sucked up all this information with large language models. And I had a friend call me the other day. She was so upset. She wanted to meet for coffee like right away because of this. And I was trying to explain to her that the large language model is sucking up to train on it the information, but it's not like you'd be going through the large language model to like, get your social security check. But they do want the federal government to go through Twitter to start servicing agency roles, and I don't know all the specifics to that yet. So welcome to, I don't even know what we call it.
Numerica
Yeah, in America.
and the new
So
essay.
yeah, so all this is pretty dangerous stuff, and there's measles in Texas and New Mexico.
Well,
The most,
you've gone beyond pretty dangerous stuff.
yeah,
This is the dismantling of the American government and replacing it with Elon Musk's technology.
yeah.
That's far beyond dangerous stuff. So far beyond, I don't know if there's words for it. We haven't terra incognito. We haven't been here before, Christine.
No, we haven't. Also, in the last 2 days, he has removed people from their contracts. So Verizon had an FAA contract and put him there, put himself there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, in tech, I forgot to put this story, but it's relevant to what we do. Most cell phone carriers are going to be adding Starlink connections to your cell phones. Now, this was a deal done before all this started happening, uh, but you do not have to accept it. You can go into your phones and say you never want to connect to a satellite. Now, I would probably advise everyone to do that because he's going to siphon your data out of there when you connect, and who knows what he's doing with all this data. So, but you will see it. You can't get angry at just one cell phone carrier because they're all
That'd
doing
be
it.
one hell of an overage fee, won't it? Like it's not like
Yeah.
you roamed into the next county or something. It's like you roamed into outer space.
Well, that's a small fee they're asking for most of what I saw. But like I was pretty angry that mine, T-Mobile is mine. And then I looked into it and it was like, no, Apple's doing it, Verizon's doing it, they're all doing it. But they wanted a satellite connection for the cell phones, which made sense maybe a couple years ago. But right now they're all being run by Musk. There are other carriers people could use out of Europe that are also pretty powerful. But unfortunately, the deals were already made with Starlink. So the best thing you do is just not connect to it at all, ever. So
So moving along,
it's happy. Oh, I don't miss the show
no,
card. This is really quick. And
4.0 is now going to be 4.5.
yeah,
We have to
so
get
it's
the
one
we have to get the accents right.
4.5. I can't still say the 4.0.
4.0 because it's not O because there was like they made the small O on purpose, so you pronounce it 4.0. They wanted
Oh,
that big time. And so I want to go 4.5 because that's what I think they want. And I really want to make Sam Altman happy because I don't want him mad. That would be scary.
yeah. Well,
So
he's less
it's
than.
4.5 day.
It
20 minutes, I'm
is.
sorry, 40 minutes from the time these words are actually spoken to being recorded. There's going to be a live press conference, a live stream introduction of 4.5, and that's after we're done being recorded, so we won't know about it until next recording. We'll tell you more later, mostly about people's impressions of it, but it's launching today.
Yes, and I have seen some people that got there was a quote leak this morning, obviously not a leak. Um, this morning, so far from the AI leaders, they're not, like it's fine, but it's not like a super big move. But we'll see. We'll see what the results are once it fully releases.
Okay.
Yeah.
So some more googly stuff. If you're looking at, if you're one of those data connoisseurs who like your data mixed and you say you're using something like Looker Studio, you're using the Search Console API, and you're seeing data that's being slowed and delayed by several days, in fact. So this is one of those, it's not you, it's them sort of things. You probably already knew that. Google's still having the problem.
Yeah.
So
And it's only the API though, so it doesn't affect your Google Search Console, but it
yeah, so if you're
affects
looking
like your,
live, yeah, if you're looking at Search Console regular, um, you see up-to-date data.
yeah, it's if you're using like tools or like crawlers that use the API, and you'll know if it uses the API because it tells you. So it's behind a few days. John Mueller did say it should be fixed really soon, so we'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you use Reddit very much?
More than I used to because of a project I'm on, but
Okay. So
somewhat.
all over Reddit for me, at least in my Reddit feed, like everyone's got their own kind of Reddit feed, but in mine, there's been sponsored advertisements that have been asking if did you know Microsoft Copilot is safe? Is Microsoft Copilot safe? Do you think Microsoft Copilot is safe? And variations on that. On the same question to hammer home the theme that yes, in fact, Microsoft Copilot is safe. It's been all over Reddit. It kind of drives me crazy because I expect every third Reddit post to be asking me a question about the safety of Microsoft Copilot. And as it turns out, thousands of GitHub repositories that people thought were kind of private have been exposed by Microsoft Copilot. So the answer to the questions on Reddit is no. I don't think it's entirely safe because thousands
Yeah.
of private GitHub repositories, some of which contain credentials and other secrets, have been exposed through Copilot. And I guess they're trying to fix it and extract that data, but it's an
You can't
LLM. It's kind of hard.
Yeah, you can't take it out of there. According to Microsoft's response was very nonchalant, as always. They said that those were public originally, now that they're private, and caching them was completely acceptable. And it's just a low severity incident. And then the other cybersecurity company is like, well, it's got to stuff that's private, and it also got to stuff like passwords and secrets and all sorts of information that are now in the LLM, which cannot be removed. So. Yeah. So if you have a GitHub repository and it's been public at any point, it's very possible that Microsoft has sucked it up, and you might want to just make sure to lock it down going forward.
Well, and here's the thing, like up until November 2022 or 2023, you've been able to say exactly what Christina said. That's the best advice possible. Lock it down any way possible. But honestly, Christine, I don't know that every LLM crawler is following robot text directives or
Oh, we
following
know it
on-page
doesn't.
meta directives. I don't know
Yeah,
that for sure.
we know it doesn't.
And
Remember Condé Nast? They were almost DDoSing them.
so what happens if your information gets out into one system and maybe Gemini and maybe even Copilot are doing their very best and being fastidious and obeying like robots text or meta directives. But once it's out there on somebody else's system and it's not protected by something that's on your page or your server, they're going to hoover it up too because of course it's out there and it's just, part of the information repository that's trainable for everybody, right? Um, and I think that the LLM crawlers, with the people who are acquiring the training data, need to be way more transparent on how their
Yeah.
crawlers work and what we can do to do exactly what you said, lock it down.
Yeah, because even in this case, they found out that the Microsoft's Cloud AI service was getting access to secrets, company secrets. This was not just a Reddit thing. I'm sorry, just an internet thing. And so, yeah, so definitely. And also, something interesting in the reporting today. Uh, this was all available in the cache, in the Bing cache. Bing took away its cache. Why do we think? Because all their stuff they crawled was available in the cache, right? So crash cache. So that's probably why Google took it away too. They did their training and got into stuff they shouldn't have, and so they did away with the cache because then it's much harder to find. You can still get it from the large language model, but you have to know how to find it.
But well, again, it's still in there and it could be regurgitated up
Oh
somehow.
yeah, definitely. But the cache is gone in Google search and Bing search, and no one understood why that happened. But it happened around the same time these models were coming out, so probably that's why. So
Okay, this is a hard story to move into, and I'm going to try to tone
yeah,
police myself. I don't want to be completely outraged, even though I am. A video appeared on Truth Social of Donald Trump's fever dreams of what he would do to Gaza. And it shows resorts and electric cars. It's not electric cars, I swear to goodness. It shows bearded men in what appear to be
Voodoo.
Hulu dresses. I imagine they're the entertainers. It shows Elon Musk and Benjamin Netanyahu partying together with a topless Benjamin Netanyahu. Um,
And
and
oddly, a
all of
super
this,
soft Elon and not Trump and Netanyahu. So I'm guessing Elon had a lot to do making this
well,
video.
Trump did appear as a golden statue. And
Yeah.
all of this is appearing on top of the flattened graveyard that is Gaza, the Gaza Strip. Um, anyway, this was up on Truth Social. He's Trump, the American president is facing a tremendous backlash from world leaders, many people in the Republican Party, conservative movement, the new United States or the new SA itself. It's anyway.
As, as someone mentioned yesterday, that people haven't even buried all their dead yet.
Well, no,
And
no. The
yeah,
Gaza is pile upon pile upon pile upon pile of rubble. They
yeah.
won't know where many people won't know where their dead is or will never find their dead.
And so people understand the tone of this video isn't just like it's like look at
Celebratory.
yeah, it's like an ad for Miami Beach or something, and how amazing it'll be. And there's a track of music over it. No more tunnels, no bombs. Something about the positive of redoing. There's just no words for how just reprehensible this whole thing is. These people, whatever side you are of how this was handled, these people's lives were destroyed. Tens of thousands of them were killed. About 50,000 people. People are not even in their homes if they even have a home, because 90% of everything was destroyed. And this video shows a triumphant Musk and Netanyahu and Trump, Netanyahu, Musk, right? Yeah, like eating, drinking on the beach, and how they're going to make it the country of the era. It's just,
Most importantly,
yeah, you just have
Donald
to see it.
Trump and Elon Musk and mega developers. You don't own Gaza. You don't own Ukraine. You don't own Canada, Greenland, Denmark, Panama, Venezuela, or anything else you claim to have claims to. You don't own any of it. It's disgusting. It's insulting. It's
Inhumane.
destroying the last remnants of soft power America, the old United States of America used to keep Pax Americana, which was the goose that laid golden eggs for everybody under the umbrella of Pax Americana. It's no longer Pax Americana. That's blown. That's gone. The love the world had for what was the United States is gone. It's blown. And this display of vulgarity is what is defining the new essay and new America to a world that doesn't, that really, 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 really wanted to trust the USA, but cannot trust new America. Anyway, why are we reporting this? Because this is the environment we work in.
NASA's all made with AI.
Well, yeah, and it's the environment we work in. Honestly, you kill the goose that laid the golden egg, and this destroys all of us. You destroy the information ecosystem, you bastardize it, or you subvert it for LOLs or political gain. And honest to goodness, the end result is the destruction of this gig because we rely on, well, information distribution. But let's digress into this is
Not
a
all
cool.
the stories of this. These are our last couple of the depressing.
Well, this one I want to go to something a
Well, we
more
do need
hopeful
to.
story first, and then we can go to the AI first thing, okay? 21
Yes.
Doge staffers quit. They resigned. They refused to jeopardize Americans' sensitive data. They signed a joint resignation letter, and the most important part of this group's resignation is who these people actually were. See,
They are the.
they
Yeah.
weren't
Go ahead.
Doge. They were transferred to Doge, but they started out as the Christine. I think
USGS.
you really wanted
Yeah.
to say this. I know you did.
Yeah. Sorry. The United States Digital Service. I actually looked at one point at applying to it. It is the elite of the techno people in the United States and was first headed by Matt Cutts of former Google our SEO liaison there. So,
So the
um,
21 people who quit in disgust at what U.S. Doge is doing, what I should say, U.S. Doge staffers, what Doge is doing, the 21 who quit, we mightn't have known them in our industry. We probably didn't know them, but we knew the guy who made them because he's also the guy who kind of made had a huge hand in making what our industry became. Matt Cutts, the first real person who humanized connected Google to its users, really connected with the SEO community.
so what they said in their letter was they refused to use their technical expertise to compromise core government systems, jeopardize American sensitive data, or dismantle critical public services. We swore to serve the American people and uphold our oath to the Constitution across presidential administrations, wrote the staffers who joined when the agency was known as the United States Digital Service. However, it became clear to us that we can no longer honor those commitments at the United States Doge Service. So that was the letter. That was an NBC report. So yeah, because when you join the United Digital Service, United States Digital Service, I can't get that out of my mouth today. You actually join it as like someone who is joining Congress or joining the military, so you take an oath to to the country and to
Well, given
not do
the
harm.
sensitivity
Yeah,
of the information, I should hope so.
yeah. It's a
Take it
pretty,
seriously, you know.
and there's no replacing these people usually. They're the best of
Well,
the
no, as
best,
you
and
said,
then
they're the
there's
best of the
yeah,
best.
yeah.
These brains come along once in a generation, and those were them.
And then one third of those people were also terminated by Musk. So
What, poor job
the
performance or something?
yeah, the lie of the day. So most of the people, by the way, that for those who don't know, who were terminated supposedly for poor job performance had very high ratings in their files and were considered very good employees.
Well, it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. The fix was in.
Yeah.
They had numbers in mind ahead of time, and those numbers are now going into tax savings for people who are far richer than you, me, or most of our listening audience will ever be. Um,
Okay.
so okay, so how can all this end? We have clearly an AI first strategy that's playing out in the American government, and given who is playing it out, it's almost certainly a grokky kind of AI first strategy. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, they're going to have a chat bot based on large language models analyze contracts and procurement data. Doesn't analyze anything. Um, Doge is taking over the main organization, from what we just talked about, the USDS. Basically, he's leading everything with supposed large language, I'm just say large language models because AI is incorrect. And going to hash and slash through the American government, your Social Security, your Medicare, your Medicaid, your veterans benefits, all those things with the completely wrong use of AI. Like large language models can be helpful somewhat, but this is not that. And so this is misuse of the technology and with detriment, very large detriments to real human people.
Just to
So
be
you have to be
really
careful.
clear, when the chickens come home to roost on this one, it wasn't Justin Trudeau's fault. He will have resigned long ago. But if someone's listening to this like 6 to 8 months from now or a year from now, swear to God, it wasn't Mark Carney's fault or anything to do with Canada. We had nothing to do. You're invading us anyway. Okay. Anyway,
Okay.
that's a future prediction for a year from now. What could possibly go wrong with having Grok? As I'm saying this, a Cybertruck drives past my house. What could possibly go wrong with having, Grok run the American government? Um, this one's almost funny, this next story. I don't know why I think it's so funny. Probably because I come from an old world where you fought your way into the Google's rankings, and as opposed to being somehow magically selected by AI overviews. But Chegg, the education company, Chegg, is suing Google in federal district court, claiming that AI overviews have well hurt the revenue and the traffic to the website of the online education company, and therefore hurt its revenues. So they're suing Google for lost traffic.
Yes, but unlike a lot of people in our industry have been commenting, because I don't know if this was like a fact that was known yet. They're not just suing over lost traffic. They're suing because Google demanded access to the proprietary information, trained on it, and then produced content that was similar to theirs. And so that's where the lost traffic comes in.
Ah, so it's not actually lost traffic they're suing for. They're suing for Google taking their works, rephrasing it, Googleizing it, and then
Putting
offering it
AI
up without any
overviews.
links.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So it is lost traffic though, because then nobody goes to their site, right? And it's their content they're trained on.
No.
So apparently with the in this industry, and I've not heard of this before, but I know the news does it, so it probably is true. Um, most of it's behind a paywall. So Google, you have to give access to Google to all that content. And news sites do it because they want the traffic, but as an educational site, they don't necessarily want to do it, but they have to if they want to appear in the results. And so Google trained on all that content and then produced content in the AI overviews that it competes with them, and then also may send them to many other places besides their own. So that's basically the crux of the lawsuit. I
But
feel
but
like
in
they
this
have they
case,
have a right to sue here because they
no, in
lost
this
that.
case, Chegg can draw a direct line between their data and stuff that
Yes.
was regurgitated by AI overviews and served up. Yeah.
Yeah, because Chegg had 135 million questions and answers in their training, in their educational information.
Hmm.
So it creates content that's similar to theirs, offered in search results and the AI overviews, steals the click, and then they're out, but they can't block Google because then they won't appear in search results at all. So
So,
I think
but
that's
Clegg did
fair.
exactly what they were told to do 4 or 5
Yes.
years ago: answer questions.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true too.
they
Yeah,
followed the advice that we were told to give our clients. So they followed the best possible SEO advice, which was start thinking about things as, people want to know stuff. They don't want to find it, they want to know it. So answer their questions.
yeah, and they do have partnerships like OpenAI and others too. But of course, the difference is OpenAI doesn't have a search engine where they're writing AI overviews and stealing your clicks. They're stealing your clicks in other ways, but not that way. But anyway,
Well,
we'll see. But they Goldman Sachs to look into their strategic options and to help them launch the lawsuits. So they've got some pretty heavy power behind them. And they
the
lost,
Goldman Sachs looked at the strategic options and they
yeah,
decided to sue.
yeah, and they lost hundreds of, I think 135 million or 140 million dollars. So it's quite significant. So anyway,
Well, again, I think really the key thing here is they can draw a direct line between their
yeah,
content and the issue itself.
I'm sorry, it was 25% of 140 million dollars, 43 million dollars.
Okay,
Sorry,
so
Michael.
OpenAI is cracking down on ChatGPT scammers. Um, there's people who are using ChatGPT in quote unquote unauthorized ways, such as debugging code to generate content for publication on various distribution platforms. Huh? Getting around.
Progress stems?
Well, if say on a massive level, you're getting around a paywall and republishing content. That is a theft and that is a scam. Um, there's 100 different ways you can use ChatGPT to circumvent all sorts of well, digital protection, things that are laws. There's all sorts of ways you can use ChatGPT to fake a business, the operations of a business. And as people, as it turns out, if it shows scammers a way they can separate people from their money, and they'll do it like real
Yeah,
fast.
yeah, and it's also helped people launch cyber attacks. It's created nefarious code, even though it's not supposed to do that.
Yeah,
So they've done this before, cracked down before. We'll see if it
but
does
now
next.
they're
Because we
making a
know they're not,
point. More
but they're
importantly, they're
not great.
making a point of publicizing it.
Yeah, they're just not great about security. We know they don't test any of their apps, so yeah. But so yeah, so they're cracking down on it. A report probably Jim, you don't know about yet, but probably one when we bring our friend Gavin back is that came out today from CrowdStrike, and a report about the dangers of AI as a security threat for the world. So we'll probably get into that another time, but this is the same along the same lines. So.
Yeah, I read that, and if I remember correctly, CrowdStrike. I read that first with a little bit of dubious
Oh
feeling
yeah,
about it, but then I remembered CrowdStrike was blamed by Trump back in the 2000s as part of the Joe Biden Ukrainian uranium scandal or non-scandal. For some reason,
oh,
CrowdStrike broke the news that that was false news.
I did not know that.
So that made me that little fact for some reason made me trust this information from them a bit more.
Well, CrowdStrike is one of the most well-known like cybersecurity companies in the world, but they had a massive breach a few years ago.
Mm,
So they've kind of been building their name back up. But when it
rebuilding
comes
their
to
name back
analysis,
up, yeah.
yeah. But when it comes to analysis and reports like this, they're pretty spot on. But we had too much news today to bring it in today, and I thought when we bring Gavin back, it'd be the best time to talk about it. So
Okay. So Microsoft is again trying to make it hard for you to see content when you're doing a search for Google Chrome, Gemini, or X's Grok. And they're doing this not by limiting your search results, but by sort of
or
fudging
faking.
around with the way the search result page looks.
Yeah, I remember they did the thing where they made it look like you were going, but you weren't. You were really still in Bing. But anyway, yeah, you're like you touched on Google, you were, but you weren't. They're just putting a big color block at the top of the page. So if you search for like perplexity or another type like I can't think of words today, ChatGPT or something like that, it'll just say big letters at the top, CoPilot, your AI companion, message CoPilot. So it's putting these different boxes at the top. Or if you search for Chrome, it'll be like, have you tried the latest browser from Microsoft? Here, launch now. So they're putting these massive ads at the top of the page so that you will hopefully not see what's right below it. But hey, it is right below it, so you can see it. Unlike when they tried to pretend they were something they weren't.
Okay. So Bing is again testing an AI search mode, which is going to be a little bit like AI overviews. Um, in that it'll summarize the search results and give you a selection of links that are to correspond with those search results. It'll leverage CoPilot software for a view of that's apparently loaded with all the stuff you could want on a subject. Aren't they already doing this, Christine? Like, are they
Uh,
testing a new way of presenting AI results?
yeah, they're presenting them like Google, which makes me sad. Like I actually preferred how they did them, and I don't know if they've noticed, but Google lost share 2 quarters in a row, so maybe it's not going so well with the AI stuff. So yeah, it kind of makes me sad because I kind of like how they've not made it intrusive, a little more to the side of the bottom of stuff. So I guess we'll see, but I will probably tweet at them later that this is not probably the way to go. Not that they care what I say, but
Bing's
uh,
problem isn't that they're not doing a good job. I remember I've been in this game for so long. I remember all the search engines that have ever existed. And there was one called Ask Jeeves that eventually just just shortened its name to Ask, and it became a pile of garbage at the very, very end. But just before the very, very end, when Ask was at its zenith, it was the search engine that all the other ones, Google especially, was copying because it was the
Yeah.
one doing all the neat, innovative stuff. But nobody cared because it wasn't Google, even though it was actually producing superior result sets and had really cool tools. Nobody cared because it wasn't Google. Bing, you can,
Remember, Bing has gained some share, not a lot, but some, and Google has lost share. So Bing probably shouldn't be copying Google.
well,
People actually
indeed.
like some of what they're doing, and if you start looking like Google, you're going to be the same mess that people don't like. So
Yeah, Bing, you need to keep differentiating yourself and don't, and then again, it's not that people don't like what you're doing. It's that, and this will change over time, but it's still, the dictum still fits. You're not Google.
exactly.
So you're not taken quite as seriously or something. I don't know. Maybe it's the number of users. I'm using Bing a lot more frequently than I'm using Google.
If Bing
Um,
paid Apple $50 million to be their number one search tool, they probably would do a lot better. That's a big part of it too, is where you're placed.
yeah,
But yeah,
so
anyway,
yep.
Bing, if you're listening, don't try to be like Google. We don't. Google's a mess. So all messy, it's stuff everywhere. They have no edit in their mind. So, and then they're also gonna add. They've had this before though. I've seen this before, but maybe I saw it on Google and thought I saw it on Bing, where they're adding the web sources that they used, and Google's now doing this too, where you can see all the documents they used to create the result, which
I
actually
like,
I think is good. Go ahead.
oops, sorry. I like the way Bing does it so much better than the way Google does it. Bing has this
Yeah,
nice little calm box. The only problem I have with Bing is that the little symbol, the little eye symbol for more information is so tiny. You gotta like actually like
it
scope for
is.
it.
And
But
gray.
once you click on it, it's calm. It's there. The information you need is there. The links that they source back to various paragraphs are there with like citations and stuff. So that I can understand, and I can understand easy, and I don't even have to think. I just look and pair stuff up, and I get it. That works. Google, on the other hand, is a dog's breakfast
But
of information.
it's just everywhere. And they have like 60 documents sometimes there. But anyway, so yeah, so it's a good thing to see. You can see what I think it'll help also is people mistake the AIs for like search engine stuff, and it's not. But the grounding is search engine. So when you start to see the documents off to the side, I think, or when you click information, I think that'll be a good way for people to start understanding the difference. That the AI overview is just a summary. They're summarization engines, and not the actual document itself. It's not a search retrieval.
And
So
how users start behaving months into the future. I mean, this is how things look today. They're going to change, like you see Microsoft making rapid changes in the way they're presenting AI results, and they're doing that because users are pushing them to or telling them that they want changes by their behavior. Google's going to make changes because users will tell Google they want changes by their behavior. And this whole search environment that we're looking at now, the search results pages, they're in flux. They're going to change over and over and over again. And I have no idea. I don't know how they settle on um an AI overview or a CoPilot summarization engine style that works for people in the long run, but we'll see what happens. I mean, I guess that'll come down to some form of personalization, and I don't know. It feels hyper hinky to me still.
it is. I think it's always going to feel that way because it is. Speaking of hyperlinky, Google tests an AI generated answer result open by default. So, like the, what is it now called? There's so many boxes now. I start losing
This is
track
like
of what
it's
they're
called the
called.
AI answer box or the AIO box, overview
Yeah, but it's
box.
not, no, it's not the overview box. It's the ones below that are generated, the words generated below with drop downs.
Oh yeah, okay, okay.
Yeah, so that's the
Um,
answer box.
so the
There's
answer
the AI
box then,
answer
sure.
overview and these answer boxes. Sometimes I get 3 or 4 of these and a result would just, I don't know why, like
So
forever.
these things are now opening by default rather than
Test.
collapse like the accordions they used to be.
Yeah, it's a test, but oh my gosh, just no.
Okay, so
Like,
that's screen space. That's what that screams to me, screen space.
It is. I can't tell from the results I'm seeing in the GIFs if they open 10 of them, or if there's 10 links, or if they just open one of them, because
Okay,
the GIF is
well,
moving too quickly and I can't stop it, unfortunately. So, but yeah, so you might start seeing opened. It's just why, like, if I wanted to open it. Stop. Like, it's so hard. Sometimes all I want is a blue link. I can't even find one. So it's just terrible. I think this is why they're losing share, but they're gonna keep doing it. So, until they don't. So
okay.
anyway, if you find that you are not getting clicks, go check the page because they might have these expanded. Yeah, it looks like they're expanding all of them.
Some more
Yeah.
okay. Technical alert. Things get a little bit more fun from here. um, Oh, these are the stories I live for. Because actually, this one has been bugging me for days. I'm so glad that it came up on our grid because I haven't had a chance to look into it enough, but it may answer something that's been killing my brain the last few days. So one of my sites has this massive increase in requests and this massive decrease in actual data downloaded. So Google's
Yeah.
asking for the stuff, but it ain't getting nothing in return. And I've been banging my head up. I've been banging my lead dev's head against the desk, and he's really mad at me for it, trying to figure this out. What's going down? What is this?
Just basically, Google. So it's only some sites. It's not all sites. Some sites hosted on CDNs, and this is from Barry Schwartz, SEO Roundtable article. But Google updated its list of IP ranges for calling. If you're delivered by CDN, then and have a WAF protecting your site from DDoS attacks, Google might have run into a rate limiting or be blocked now. So they're fixing it. But yeah, so it's just it's Google and the CDNs like Cloudflare that are just not playing nicely with each other. There is a JSON file that Google uses to track this. So they said it should hopefully be fixed soon. So
Uh,
really not much you can do because it's a Google, infrastructure with server issue.
so at the same time, I've been gaining pages in Google's index, and subsequently seeing gains in the number of clicks in Search Console. But the crawl activity has been driving me nuts because it's totally out of whack.
Well, and even though you see the big drop because it's not coming very often, it is staying on the site longer. So, it's still probably getting your pages, but you can also monitor that, with your log files. And then, of course, you can check the JSON file that Google has. And you'll find it in the article by Barry, link to that. Google crawler update causing spikes and crawling for some.
So this might just be paranoia. And it just might be old school, Jim. But I'm not running my own crawls until like 11 at night now because of this.
Ah, it's a good idea.
Nah, not a good idea. I gotta go to sleep sometime. Okay, so do you remember the right to be forgotten?
Yes,
It
which we had no access to.
You do now. I don't know exactly how this
Yay.
works. I haven't played with it myself yet, but I have confirmed that this is accessible by North Americans and by New Americans too, by people in the lower 48. Um, got some unflattering search results. You can actually go to Google and get rid of them. Go to Google, search for the results about you. Just type in results about you tool. It'll take you to
Yeah.
a Google page that'll help you start scrubbing your results.
It'll also keep an eye on the web for you. So like Google Alerts, but better because you don't have to figure out how to just pick up yourself and not other people. So you can add your name, address, phone number, option add nicknames, additional phone numbers or addresses, and Google will bring back the results about you. There's some other things you can do too, but that's the easiest one. And as Jim said, you can try to remove. We don't have a law that forces them to remove the information. So I imagine if you're like, I killed puppies, probably not gonna get that removed. But if it's like those My Life sites, I got fortunate. Someone from Google did remove me from those results because they had a erroneous report that I committed a crime, which I never have.
Or like the
And
rip-off report where
yeah, but
somebody
the
put
My
you there
Life
and you had to
one,
pay to get out.
well, this is a little different, but same thing. It's like here's all this information about the person. Oh, look, they have like 3 crimes, and it's like
Yeah.
I don't have any crimes. And so what it was is I had a parking ticket, and they called it a crime. Anyway, someone from Google, stopped letting that show up for my results. Um, so, because it was erroneous and it could harm me. And you were able to do that in the past. So not like I had special treatment. But yeah, so it's a simplified, basically a tool that's been around for a little while, but most people don't know about. So yeah, if you have bad results out there about you or information like your social security numbers out there, or you don't want your phone number out there, or you can get them to remove those things.
Now,
Hopefully.
satisfaction not guaranteed. User results may vary.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be their decision to do it, and they don't have to do it.
And also, for the record, I have never been arrested for anything I wouldn't have been proud to tell my late mother about.
Yeah,
So there.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, this one's kind of cool. The New York City subway system is one of the most complex machines in the world. I don't know, like our London subway system, Tokyo's train system. It could get a little bit more complex, but I'm not quite sure how. The New York City subway system is incredible, and it runs and it operates well. And one of the ways it operates well is thousands of people working maintenance every night, every day. Just it's a constant churn of keeping one of the largest rail systems in the world working. They were using Google Pixel phones
Yeah,
as an
pretty cool.
experiment to check for breaks in tracks.
Yeah, by using the audio, vibration, and location data collected pretty cheaply, they were able to train artificial intelligence prediction models to supplement the inspection work. So they were able to find 92% of the defect locations later pinpointed. What is that? That's not a word. Pinpointed by human track inspectors. That's from an article from Wired. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I think that's a kind of good idea.
Now, at the end of the day, it doesn't actually replace humans who have to see
No.
and verify and fix the actual problem, but the amount of money and the amount of running a system like this costs so much because things deteriorate. If you can slow the deterioration, you can save enormous amounts of taxpayers' dollars. And this is a great use of,
Yeah,
I think it's a
really.
wonderful, great use of AI. It's exactly
Yeah,
how
and
we
they
should be using it.
exactly, and they actually developed something, a harmonic system, which is completely unique to New York, and that's where they combine the audio and vibration to pinpoint the issues. Others use sensors and cameras on the tracks, but they're actually just able to use the phone with people walking and gathering all that data to find the defects. 92%, that's pretty amazing rate for, it's very inexpensive for them to do.
Okay, I'm a government geek. I'm a total government geek, and I love civic governance. And this will save so much money. That's the first thing that
Oh,
runs through my head is how much, just insane amounts of money.
yeah. So much money.
I love this story is a lot of fun. I love the way this one we took from SEO Roundtable. This is a very short special, and I love the way Barry covered this. Um, Google is saying there's a lot more work to do to make crawling more efficient. And to quote Barry Schwartz, last April 2024, Gary Ives from Google said he was on a mission to make web crawling more efficient. He wanted to quote unquote figure out how to crawl even less, how to have fewer bytes on wire. Gary updated by saying there's lots more in the works, but this of course implies improvements have already been made. I love that line. That's
Uh,
like
but
Barry getting that little dig in there on Gary. That's wonderful.
there's it's a funny exchange because it's Gary in the article. Google, there's a lot more work to do to make crawling more efficient between Barry and Gary and a guy named David. So it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
So go read it. Yeah, if you need a little humor today, go read that one.
But you know what? For what it's worth, Gary is right. They have done a lot to make crawling a lot more efficient. Google's unpacking JavaScript files like cutting through butter now. Even up to a year
Hard
ago,
cold
they were
butter,
having a
but
really hard time doing that.
butter might be hard and cold, but yeah, not better than
Well,
most.
okay, I'm seeing a lot more progress on their end when it comes to
Oh,
headless sites.
definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Um, so it's and again, I'm seeing a lot of room for improvement. Like there's like, but credit where credit's due. They're working, they're trying.
They're
Um,
trying.
Now again, why is this important? Because strong SEO is the grounding for AI overviews and for generative results. You don't get good generative results without something to verify what is real and what ain't real. Really.
Yes.
Jesus. Okay, Google Lens AI overviews expands. iOS apps and iOS app search screens. Okay, so Google's got a couple of new Google Lens features. They're expanding how AI overview shows on Google Lens results, and Chrome and Google's iOS apps now let you search your screen with Google Lens.
Yeah, I hit it by accident all the time
Hmm.
because my phone enables you to like put dual screens on, and all of a sudden it like pops up and it takes a picture and then it does a search, and I'm like, wait, all I did is scroll down. But if that's happening to you on your phone, that's this new product, the new additions to Google Lens.
I am turning Gemini on by mistake on my phone like 3 or 4 times a day. I don't think it's a mistake. Um, Seriously, I'm not that careless. I am all thumbs, and I am in my mid-50s, but I'm not that careless.
Yeah, I want you guys to see the article at Search Engine Roundtable. Google Lens AI overviews expands and iOS app search screen. So basically, it'll explain it all there with video, with actual like GIFs and video. So, but it could be cool. I just haven't actually used it on purpose yet. So I'm always like swiping it away because I'm like, why are you here? I do not need you. Thank you. So, but it does look like it has some good features to it, or good use to it.
Okay.
So,
So you know
Google,
the little Google prompts that come up, something like people also search, people also consider, stuff like that.
yeah.
So that's supposed to just be an algorithmic. Google sees the results that it puts together and contextually figures you might be looking for this, or that, right? So it creates a people also consider box. That's supposed to be algorithmic, not sponsored. But Google, by mistake, put a
Well, for
sponsored,
sure.
we're hoping it's a mistake, sponsored label on top of the people also considered box.
Yeah, and people are finding that when they look at it, it does say it's an ad unit.
So
So
this is
no,
on
no one's
purpose.
really,
People also consider something that was paid for. Well, I guess they do because it was put in front of their face.
yeah. But it doesn't look like an ad at all. I mean, like I know they hide ads, but it literally is just like, it's like the people also ask. It's just like people also consider fossil watches, the Tissot watches, luxury watches for men. That's the example here. But
So,
apparently, if you look at the information on it, it does say it's an ad. So.
so what we're kind of seeing is Google creating more real estate for an ad to appear in. That's what I'm reading.
Oh, so much more fun. One day I'd
My
like to just
guess
get
would be
their
because
results.
they're losing real estate as people don't click through to websites.
Oh yeah, but also I mean, there is a science to how you design a page to get the most and maximum click-through rate, and throwing everything in the world that you possess on it is not that science. So they really do better just to hire like a $500,000 a year UIX person and let them do what they need to do. But anyway, so we're gonna get more ads maybe, but we're not 100% sure because I couldn't get confirmation from the Google Ads liaison, Ginny Marvin.
Or if you're Google, you could spend upwards of 60 million a year and just hire Marissa Mayer back again.
Mm, this is true.
That's the way I do it.
Yeah.
No,
Maybe when they lose, maybe when they lose share for the third quarter. Maybe then.
okay. So Google sent an email out to Google local service ad advertisers, letting them know that Google's going to let searchers use a booking link to schedule an appointment or a service. I guess this is a Google booking link. Um,
Yeah, it's kind
I'm
of
not sure. I'm not sure
convoluted.
how. I'm not really sure how this.
Bookings that you get from your ad will be charged like calls or messages. So basically, you're getting a booking link that was
Okay,
on your business profile that will now go into your local service ads. But when it's in your local service ads, even if you didn't add it, you're going to get charged for it. Blah blah, blah, a lot of stuff.
so Google's
But
found, whether you like it or not, Google's found a way to charge you for your Google business profile.
well, not your profile, but the link that they move or copy from your profile into the ad. So if you weren't getting called, you didn't want to pay for calls before. come through his messages or calls. You now could do that because it's automatically adding it. I don't know if you have the ability to just block it at some point, but it is automatically adding it. So
Okay. It's
yeah,
Google nickel and diming. As I'm reading the story and realizing what they're doing, it they never used to do this before. They used to create services so we would use them, not create services so they could charge us for them.
exactly.
They made
Well,
all the money they had in the world off of ads, which again,
and,
I'm imagining they're not selling as many of, given that they're sacrificing about a third of that real estate.
and Jim and I don't do ads for a living, so we don't cover this as in depth. But I talked to Jim. We haven't decided yet, but maybe we'll have a complimentary show with an ad person to go over the many ad changes because there's been so
Oh, I
many
think we
for the
should.
last 2
I
months.
really
Yeah,
think
I
we
think we
should.
should.
I don't
It's
understand
just
them well
so
enough myself.
I don't either, because and then some of the issues like the other story we have that I thought might be important that we could understand because we don't do it, is that Google is pre-filling links in the site links of an ad with the competitors' URLs. So they're auto-generating site links, but not yours. They're doing your competitors on your landing pages in ads.
Why would they do that?
It could be a bug. It could be a bug, but nobody's responded from Google yet. So,
Could it be a bug?
oh wait, no, here it
You know,
does
it is a
say,
bug. Obviously, it's a bug. You know why they're doing that? Because it's AI doing it. That's why Gemini's doing
probably.
this.
Probably, yeah, exactly. So, anyways, it does say at the very bottom that they did fix it. I missed that part. Are investigated, and it was an issue in the past, and provide suggestions for review on the site link creation page. So they don't actually fix it, but they try to let you see it, and then I guess probably reject it or something. So yeah.
Okay,
So
last of the big stories. Google top suggestion definitions under auto suggestions. Google's showing a top search definition box just underneath the auto suggest, which often comes up. The top search is almost always definition of the
yeah,
word. So this slips in a
that's fine.
definition of the
It's like
word.
liaison. If you don't know what liaison is, it shows you a little block at the bottom of the suggested results that says what a liaison is. So that's fine. I'm
You
sure
know
it'll be
what?
helpful for people.
Nine
Although it
times out of
does.
10, that's why I was there. I don't know what half these words mean.
Well, although one of the ones they show is how. I'm not sure people need to know defined. HOW needs to be defined, but it's up to Google what they want to do there.
I'm immediately going there and typing in the word run just to see what happens.
We should. So fast stories. These are quick stories. I'll start with them. You just let me know what you want
Hit
to
'em.
interject. Google hotel results test book with official site box in the like the map result, the business result. Basically, it just says book direct, which actually is going to be a nice feature because a lot of times you go to the regular site, the hotel site, and they'll have specials like get 3 nights, get one free, things like that. So they want not just going to show all the people that sell those rooms, but also going to let you go direct to the hotel to book. I
Okay.
think they're popular. Yeah. Google Maps expands detailed review questions. So sometimes when you use Google Maps, you get like back like how did this go? Like was the ambiance, the quality, the stars, all that sort of stuff. They're just adding more questions to it, so you can say things like too loud, or was the group size available, or were there seating options, things like that. It's a good thing though, because then users can look and see what kind of offerings there are. Anything to add, Jim?
Especially if they become like little flags, people will know to look for that little flag.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that makes information easier to see. Good.
Also, now we have Bing test underlined and bold sponsored results. So when it's an ad, they're going to underline and bold it. Sounds like a good idea to me.
If it differentiates it, if you want more
Yeah,
click-throughs, bold it. Don't underline it. If you want more click-throughs, bold it. If you want to differentiate it, underline it. That's excellent to differentiate. But I think honestly they're driving up their click-throughs.
probably, but at least it's honest. It's not like let me hide it in the middle of a infinite scroll. Google Ads API version is 19 is now out and available. It is way too much stuff in here to go over, so people just need to go review it themselves. SEO Roundtable has a whole story on it. It's all these. There's all sorts of changes to the API, the new version, but the new version is out. Google Merchant Center now offers physical stores. So a physical store section. So you can actually show that you have a physical store in there. And it's in the Google Merchant Center Next console. Section is random data from the store's Google business profiles listing.
I think that's a great thing. I have
Yeah.
3 different clients that are really, really doing well in Merchant Center. 2 of them have one of them is just a detailer, 2 of them have retail outlets, and people really dig the human connection. They really like seeing that there's people behind a
Yes.
counter serving goods or services or whatever. So if you have a brick and mortar location, absolutely take advantage of this. Um, our friend Morty talks about the importance of branding and branding and branding. This is branding.
Very much so, and it'll be nice to have that there for people that have a physical store. There are a lot of e-tailers out there, and then there's also a lot of retailers. So.
Mm.
And then the final story today. This is a big one, Jim. This has been, I don't think it
Oh,
makes people money anymore, but at one time it made people some serious cash. So according to Google, you will no longer be able to have Google ads showing on park domains, even for older ones, new ones and old ones. It's all going away.
yeah. Now, this must be annoying for Google in many ways because these are crap ass clicks. They're just horrible.
Yeah,
They're almost not nonsensical clicks, so it's hard to charge for them. Doesn't mean you can't have Yahoo ads or Microsoft ads on your landing pages
well, and you can come back. You can ask to
on your
be
park
added
domains.
back.
Sorry.
Yeah, you can ask to be added back in. But I imagine there's gonna be some vetting going on in that situation.
Well,
But
yeah, I mean,
now
like, well,
currently,
say
like,
you're at GoDaddy and you have a stable of
yeah,
domains that you're not using. GoDaddy will happily make a page
exactly,
at those domains and put Google ads all over it just to
exactly.
monetize the X number of clicks.
And they make the money, not you. So
Yeah.
anyway, I thought that was a good place to stop today because it was it's like the end of part of the internet. Every park domain having crap ads on them.
Well,
So
again, the crap Google ads. It doesn't mean you won't see like big or
that's
Yahoo
true.
ads. You know,
That's
like
very
it's a very big
very
world out
true.
there.
That's very, very true. So yeah, so it's at the end of unless you ask yourself to be added back in. If yours disappear, that's why you just have to request them.
Yeah. So that's it. We've gone around full clock, a little bit over time. Thanks for the indulgent studio. And before we go,
Oh,
really
before we
quickly, want to
go.
thank our sponsors, Audience Key and Wix Studio. We forgot to thank them at the beginning of the show, and we always should because well, they keep
Uh,
us on the air and they're wonderful people.
I have to add a little behind the scenes real quick. We have a very big block in green with like 30-point text that says that not to skip. And then we have been skipping, don't skip, and we always skip. So we are very sorry, Audience Key and Wix. We do always mention you, but sometimes the news of the day we get right into and forget to do it at the top.
We get very excited and passionate, you see.
Yes.
Okay. On behalf of Christine Sackinger from Sites Without Walls, this is Jim Hedger from Digital Always Media. You've been listening to Webcology, recorded live to podcast on the 27th of February, 2025. Friends, it's a crazy time out there. Be kind to each other. Love thy neighbor. Don't invade thy neighbor's country or even threaten to, because it's really nargety when you do. Be kind to each other, rank well, and be well. We will talk to you next week.
Bye, everybody.
We get it. After all the frustration, the endless cycles of hoping for a system that actually works, you're ready for something steady. Something that delivers without constant workarounds or headaches. That's why we're excited to introduce the 2025 redesign of the Buzz CRM. Built with you in mind, it's more intuitive, faster, and smarter than ever. Finally, a CRM that sees your worth, streamlines your workflows, and gives you the tools to thrive without needing to prove yourself over and over again. Because you deserve a lifeline after all those outdated platforms. You deserve a system that keeps up with your goals and grows with your success. This isn't just a redesign, it's a revolution. Visit thebuzzcrm.com today. That's thebuzzcrm.com.